Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. GAMERViCE episode 21. And I know what you are all thinking. We haven't seen an episode in a month, right? 5 weeks? I don't know what it is. Life got busy. School started. I'm a teacher. Kevin went on a vacation, was feeling good. It's okay. But we're back. We're not going to talk about that. We're here and now, and it's fall time, which is a big time for gaming. Kevin, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people. What's going on? I am so sorry that we haven't been giving you those videos, but it's okay because we're back now. We got some stuff to talk about. Hank, what are you most excited about talking about right now?
What am I most excited about?
Yes, sir.
I guess I might be most excited about Cyberpunk, and I mean Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty expansion. That's got to be what I'm most excited about. But the big thing that's been happening the past 3-4 weeks since we haven't been here is none other than Starfield. Kevin, Starfield, the highly anticipated AAA Bethesda studio acquired by Microsoft game. And there was a lot of talk when this game released about some reviews. What are your thoughts on this, Kevin? What are your thoughts before I get into it?
Well, there's two things, right? The first is, I think we've actually touched on this a little bit, but the first is, listen, it's an RPG game from Bethesda. You're getting an RPG game from Bethesda. If you don't know what that is, then great. You go in it with a clean slate. Don't let anybody, don't let anybody's opinion cloud your judgment. Just go in with a clean slate. If you've played a Bethesda game before, especially their RPGs, then you have a pretty good idea of what you're getting yourself. And that's good too, because that means that you either have an idea that you're going to really enjoy this game, or there might be some things that from previous games that you don't really like, and you'll probably see that same DNA into Starfield. And that is what I don't understand.
Yes.
The reviews were so harsh. I mean, listen, if you don't like RPG games, if you don't like sci-fi games, if you don't like the idea of space exploration, or if you thought the game was going to be more like No Man's Sky, where that is way more exploration and not so much in the story dialogue.
It's not aspect. An RPG. It's not. Right. It's not.
It's more like a sandbox. If that's what you were thinking, that's okay. But just don't, when you compare it, it shouldn't be like judged negatively because it's not that game. It was never meant to be that type of a game. It was always going to be a story-driven RPG, levels, skills type of game.
Yeah.
So I never understood why it was so harshly criticized for that type of gameplay. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just one of those things, I guess. If you're still somebody who probably hasn't even got their hands on Starfield yet, which rightfully so, I know there's the people there that wait, that either don't have Game Pass, obviously, or else you would have probably tried it. But there's people that wait for deals. They don't spend the full price tag on a game. We got the holiday season coming up. If you're one of those people that's still waiting, like, what about should I play this game? Kevin brings up a lot of good points. And I just think if you go into reading these things with the high expectations or things it didn't do, then you're just leaving yourself up for disappointment. I've sunk in about 30 hours into the game. Okay. And you really just have to play. Like, I've been playing it with no expectations. I've played Skyrim, never played any Fallout, and I didn't even play Oblivion. Skyrim was the first Bethesda game I played. Loved it. And we all know the gaming community loves it. But it's just funny. I just feel like what keeps happening is, like, think about Cyberpunk 2 also. Like, all these games, gaming has grown so much in the last 10 years. Like, the people that play games and now, like, how much games are talked about, YouTube, like, so much attention and headlines to games now. And it's like this whole thing, people make money off of it, content creation.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like you hear so much more hate and so much more criticism to games. And then think about, now that I'm thinking about it as I'm talking, think about the games that have been highly received in the last couple years. Think of two games that are basically what? Perfect 10s. I already have two on the top of my head. Kevin, tell me which two games they are, if you think you know what they are.
Elden Ring.
Oh, okay, Elden Ring. That's good. That's a good one. That wasn't even the one I was thinking about. I'm thinking about two other games because Elden Ring is actually a big game, but that is does From Software count as AAA? I don't even know. Right? Like,
I think that they should.
Okay, exactly. So I'm thinking these two games are non-AAA games.
AAA games. How recent are we talking about?
One's pretty damn recent. One's 2 months old. The other one's what? A year? 2 years old?
My God. Really? I'm not good at this. You put me on the spot. I'm not good at this.
Well, you're playing
2
one.
months.
Or is that a
month?
Month? How? I guess it's a month old. 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay, Baldur's Gate 3. Boom. Give me then. Now think back. What's the other one?
Years ago.
Is it a year and a half? 2 years? All right, I'll help you out here. Deathloop.
Deathloop. Okay.
Okay,
Deathloop,
right.
Deathloop did have a Game of the Year candidate. Was the
Yes.
Game of the Year candidate. So yeah.
Now,
that works.
for Deathloop and Baldur's Gate, do you think they spent anywhere near as much money in advertisement as
Absolutely.
Cyberpunk and over here Starfield? No. You think the minute they were announced and they were in development, did we know about them? Probably not. Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, it had other games in the so maybe. It wasn't one of those things. I'm telling you, it's all in the anticipation and the buildup, because it happened to me with Cyberpunk like a little bit, but it's like you sat here and then the minute you have to start waiting for the game, that literally, no matter what you try to do, you try to be as non-biased as possible, it's going to start reflecting in these reviews. And that's just my personal opinion, but like... that the games that have been getting high scores are games no one has expectations about. They come out and people are like, boof, blown away. Now, Starfield has so many systems built into it, and they didn't really perfect them as they should. And Starfield is not a perfect game. I will say it out and say it is not a perfect game, but it ain't no 6, like it's not. Is that game falls somewhere between, if on a scale out of 10 or whatever, out of 100, it's somewhere between 85 and a 90. Okay, 8.5 to a 9. Like point blank, if you play it and on our scale, right, there's a 8.5 out of 10 chance you're gonna like it, right? That's what we say, because it's not about rating the game over here, GamerVice. If you guys go back to one of our first videos, but it's just crazy to me. Like, play the damn game. I don't know. That's what these companies get paid for and stuff. But it's kind of wild to me how they got shit on so much. But it's like when you play the game, like for me, example, right? 30 hours. I think I was like I have 2 playthroughs. The one playthrough and maybe 3 missions off beating the main campaign. And I was like, let me start doing some other stuff. Let me start fresh. And I got the Steam version of the game so I can mod it up a little bit. But the detail in dialogue, and like, I don't like, people are not giving enough credit. Like when they go into detail with a lot of things, even as far as like the planets, people then started to realize like a little detail thing was like when there's creatures on the planet. Every planet that has creatures, it's like there's I don't even know how to explain it anymore, but there's a prey. Then there's like the ones that get preyed on, right? And there's like, it's like 3 levels. Like it's a food chain.
I was gonna say
it's a food chain, and it's like, it's so subtle you wouldn't even think about it. But like you could follow like if you haven't found like the one that everyone feeds on because they're like the least
hostile.
They're not hostile, and they're usually getting destroyed. You can like sit and follow the big kahuna on the food chain and don't get spotted. They will eventually lead you to the other one. Like there's like little intricate systems like that it's like that don't get credit. And then bro, side stories, you could be doing something and when like they pull you in another direction and you just start doing some shit you don't even like know, you forgot about what you was doing. Like that's not a joke when they tell you that. But again, if you've played other games, you kind of know that about Bethesda. But like now it's not Star Citizen is better. What's funny is I never heard of this game Star Citizen until Starfield, right? Never heard of it. But
I have, but
and it's a very popular game. I'm saying I literally never came across this game, whatever RPG. But again, not the same style game. They want to make comparisons. No Man's Sky. It is not No Man's Sky. Never was, never meant to be. But people take sound bites of little clips they said, man. It's like, man, they're selling the game. But I guess, but like, that's my point. When they take sound bites and then they're yelling at like, oh, see, he did say that every planet was explorable. So you're telling me now you weren't being petty and you're mad and that's why you lowered the review score now? Rather than reviewing it for what it was. And that's where I think the problem is. But yeah, that's just,
I will say,
my 2 cents.
I will say, and that's all valid stuff.
They did
in
say
this day and age, though, in this day and age, like the last like 3-ish years, 2 things happen. I've seen 2 things happen. And I think Starfield is going to be the latter. I think, ironically, Starfield is going to be like No Man's Sky and like the next game we're going to talk about, which is, even though Starfield may have gotten some hate for maybe some of the mechanics, some of the performance issues, you know, the whole planets, even though I don't know that that's really a valid thing, like whatever. I understand that they put 1,000 planets in there and maybe that they shouldn't have, like they could have done like 100, 150 and it just would have been like refined and whatever.
Yeah,
but
I think that would have been cool.
There's some quality of life that it needs. I think when it gets those quality of life updates, people will revisit the game and go, holy shit, this game is really good. Like, I feel like sometimes people just nitpick a little bit too much on what's missing or what's wrong, and then they throw the game out. It's kind of like
quality of life stuff. It just stinks you don't have it, but like quality of life stuff is quality of life stuff. It's not really. It shouldn't be breaking the game, depending on how big of a deal it is. But like, yeah, I hear you.
It's kind of like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk when it first came out. Now, Cyberpunk when it first came out had a lot of performance issues too, and I do think CD Projekt Red did kind of over exaggerate their world atmosphere. Like, they made it seem like it was really going to be a thriving city, and I don't think it ever got to that point. I think, to your point, you've mentioned it before, like Rockstar and their GTA, their NPCs or whatever. They do NPCs really well, and I think when we see GTA 6, whenever that is, in the next probably 2 years, that game is probably going to have some of the craziest NPC interactions that we're gonna ever see in a game. Yeah, because that's just how they do. But CD Projekt Red, they updated their game, at least 4 or 5 pretty major updates. Yeah, 1.6 and now
1.6 and now the biggest one. This
now
is
the big
overhaul.
One.
This is a full system overhaul where basically you gotta reset. Like, they reset your character's points. Like, you kept your level, but the perk system. They literally redid the perk system to the point when you sign in, they gave you your perk points back because you have to reallocate them because it's a completely different perk tree.
Skills trees and all. Yeah, the perk or the skill trees or whatever. They're completely redefined. They're overhauled. There's vehicle combat now. I think they have different ways you can even spec your character. I don't know. It's so much little things on top of. I mean, those are big things. Those are huge, huge changes, and then they have quality of life changes too. And that's what I'm saying. They took their time. They screwed up in the beginning. They did. They fumbled the ball.
Nah, they did.
They screwed up, but they worked on it. Ironically, same thing with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, when it first came out, everybody shit on that game, and then a year later, people revisit the game and they're like, "Wow, they put so many updates into this," and they're still putting updates into it, similar to Cyberpunk. So I know you said in the beginning you were excited for Cyberpunk. So what are you? You can get a little bit more into it, but what are you more excited for? Are you more excited for the overhaul, or are you more excited for the DLC?
I guess both, but like the overhaul is cool, but I guess DLC I'm more excited because I also need to add to the story to keep playing it because I beat the main story, so I want to play more, but it has the overhaul with it. But yeah, there's just from what I saw, I really haven't touched it yet. I updated the game and I went in there for maybe literally 5 minutes. I reset my and they give you the option to reset your attribute points. So I just reset my points, but I'm sitting at everything 0. I think they definitely improved it based off of what I've been seeing and reading and watching videos on, and people that had, I guess, 2.0 update review like time, I guess a week or 2 before it came out. Right. They just say it's completely better. But I guess the interaction, like you said, with NPCs, I don't know if it's so much interactions with NPCs still, which I guess they can still improve, but it's more there's actually something to do with the wanted and like the cop level. because they were missing that completely. Like, I still don't even think they have NPCs the way, obviously, well, they don't have it the way Rockstar has it, but like, I don't even think it's on the level of like that interaction with NPCs still. But now, before, the argument was also like, you could go killing people and stuff, and like you get a wanted level. And then there's also this whole talk in the Cyberpunk world of lore, especially if you guys watch the show, like there's Max Tech or whatever, the top tier group of people to come get a cyber psychosis guy, like somebody who's completely lost their mind. And they didn't even, those guys weren't even a thing when the game came out. Like they were there, you would see them, but like there was no actual interaction with them and them like actually coming for you. Now I guess they have the 5-star level or whatever through wanted, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you get 5, these guys come and they're like former cyber psychosis people too now. Like they got crazy skills. So like I'm sure people are gonna do like content and built around that, like just getting 5 stars and then going through a crazy ass experience of like trying to get out or kill everyone. But like, yeah, nah, I'm excited to give it a shot. Yeah, Cyberpunk definitely, from everything that they've done right. So we'll see. Yeah. I think hopefully I could touch that around the holidays, man. It's like Starfield's too much. And then we're not even going to get into it, but something comes out in like 3 weeks that I don't know how I'm not going to touch that game either. You know what I mean?
Is that game on
Spider-Man 2? Yes.
Okay. I was going to say that on the PlayStation.
That game is Spider-Man. Oh, man. Never ending.
Speaking of not Spider-Man, not PlayStation, but we were speaking with PlayStation, transitioning to the green team. Microsoft had some crazy stuff happen in the past couple weeks. They had a whole bunch of leaks. They had leaks and they had documents. I don't know. Some people say that they did it on purpose. Some people said that like the court mishandled it, but they had documents that were supposed to be redacted and they got leaked and they weren't redacted, so people could read the entire document without anything blanked out. It's so weird. Anyways, it's interesting because I at one point you think this is so sad, that sucks that the stuff got leaked because obviously it wasn't supposed to be. But on the other hand, I kind of think it got done on purpose. Like it's a nice PR stunt. People start talking about Microsoft now and Xbox.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer. I mean, we may touch on a couple of it, but I know one of the big things was Phil Spencer was talking about at one point trying to purchase Nintendo.
That's wild to me.
Which is crazy. I mean,
I get it, but at this point, like, I guess before you even keep going, is that even realistic?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it's even possible. Like, if I'm being like, no, I don't think it's happening. Now, whether they could try to make some deal,
right?
That's another story. Because, like, you really, it makes you wonder. Like,
I feel like the only way I don't want
them to buy Nintendo and then have say over Nintendo. But like, imagine making a deal now, because we all know, we feel like the Switch, man, these guys are taking forever.
Yeah.
Right. And they make such great games, and now they're being held back by the hard, like, but not even that. Like, and then when they do come out with something, you know, it's still Nintendo, so it's going to be handheld-y type thing. Like, yeah, the Switch was great, and it was a great console. Like, where it's handheld, you plug it in, you get it to the TV. Like, but I feel like it's going to be a Switch 2.0, something along those lines. So it's like you can only pack a punch so much into a system that you can also sell, because it's Nintendo who's trying to sell usually around $300. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you get into a Steam Deck or some shit. Like, if they make that'd be a different story. But that's not what they're going to do, because you know they're not going to charge that kind of money. But like, could you just imagine, like, if they made a deal and it's like, okay, boom, now Nintendo can open up, like, imagine Pokemon and what they've been trying to do, RPG style or Zelda, and get that on Xbox. Like, seriously.
You know what's crazy is I don't even think they need to change the game, like, graphically. I just think it would be crazy if they made a deal and it's just on Xbox systems now. Yeah. That in itself would be insane, crazy to me. It would be insane, like a Super Mario, like a Super Mario game or a Pokemon game on Xbox or on the cloud, and you can play it on your PC. That would be. I feel like that would be nailing the. I mean, it's exaggerating, but nailing the coffin on Sony's end, because Xbox would have all these. What it used to be. You want to talk about exclusive games. every Nintendo game is
exclusive.
You never see
Nintendo
it. You never see it on another console. And then if something like that happened, that would be insane. That would be insane. But
back to your point where you were getting at with this whole deal and the leaks.
So yeah, the leaks. I mean, there's a couple things here. I don't know if you looked over it. There's a couple things that I personally stuck out on my end were a Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen game. Looks like it's in the works. Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster is in the works, which is a remaster. I don't know. It depends how they do that. You know, we're not
now. So this is I've just started here because of the Starfield stuff. And I played Skyrim, and obviously it was after. Skyrim is what, 5? It came after Oblivion, but Oblivion was amazing, and I didn't realize that. I never went back to Oblivion. I just played Skyrim, and then I never went backwards. They're doing this remaster. Not that it's a complete different project and it's a bunch of modders, but is it? So what is Sky Oblivion? Is that Skyrim and Oblivion? What is that Sky Oblivion project that's being worked on?
I don't remember. I remember reading about it. I don't know if I might have even sent it to you, but.
But you did send me the thing of how far they're along the project, but they might be done in 2 years or 3 years, they say. But my thing is, that's some serious gaming community. If they do make the game come out, I don't think anyone's gonna care for this. You know what I mean? Because you already remastering it, and these guys been putting in work, and people respect modders. I don't know if that's gonna do them any good. Red Dead Redemption 2, I can give two shits about a next gen. Why? What do you next gen? What? Man, that game is great the way it is. Let it be. Start working on 3. I don't want to hear about next gen.
Speaking of 3, this is a little off topic. It has nothing to do with the leaks.
Yes.
We're all over the 3? Place.
I know. I'm excited. We're going to talk about that one in another video when we get more information. We're not going to keep talking. We're not going to do that. We're not going to get off topic.
I just teased it. Division 3.
I know.
I think Dishonored 3. Dishonored 3 was also part of leaks.
Fallout 3 remaster? What?
Fallout, the remasters. I understand what you're saying, though. Indiana Jones is close to being, I guess, released or a release date at least. I don't know what I feel. I'm not a big Indiana Jones person. I don't see how it's going to translate. Unless it's Uncharted. Then that could be kind of cool. Because I feel like it's a similar storyline type of thing with the treasure and going through caves and whatnot. But I don't know, man. It's just interesting to see Xbox, for all the shit that they get about first-person games and not having enough games. You have these leaks, and again, granted, I understand. The leaks show at least half of the games that I've seen in the leaks. There's some type of remaster, remake.
Everybody, you got to look at this, and they're 2 years behind this leak. That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's okay, this is outdated almost. Starfield.
Right.
20 no, that just came out. And then they have Starfield DLC 2022. No, that's coming out 2024. So you already got to think all this stuff is pushed back 2 years. They're already working on a behind schedule, and who knows how many of these things they nixed. Yeah. I don't know.
But again, we did see. Now I've read that Phil Spencer said that there's going to be no Xbox Series X refresh. Like a PlayStation 5 Pro, they're not going to have that in the Xbox side. And then you see these leaks, and now they're saying, they're probably going to have a mid-gen refresh. They were trying I think in 2 years or something like that.
Diskless Series X, and then adding a terabyte. Okay, but damn it, that's just. Ugh.
See, it's so weird because I'm excited for this stuff, and I'm happy to see, even though we're not supposed to be seeing this stuff, I'm happy that we see that behind the scenes. They're trying to do so much stuff. At the same time, they're trying to do they may be trying to do too much stuff.
Too much, yeah.
They're not focusing on anything.
Yeah, and then when you do,
we've talked about it in the past. Their cloud gaming has kind of fallen behind. Now PlayStation has this new project coming out.
They're spreading themselves too thin.
Yep, and now Nvidia's got their stuff that works really well. And part of the leaked document was that they were supposed to upgrade their cloud gaming server. That's great. Again, to our point, you're just spreading yourself too thin almost. I get that you're a $1 trillion company, but maybe focus a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on both sides. I'm happy, but I wish they.
And speaking on the focus, the one thing we've been talking about for the past year is their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And this has felt like a journey.
Yeah.
And apparently, I guess 3 days ago, the UK now is okay with it or passed the acquisition on their end. So my thing is though, like, because I'm not too like, are we done now? Like everybody agreed. Like when do they actually own it to the point like boom, they own it now? They ain't no undoing it, and y'all are done. Like that's what I'm waiting for. And when are the gamers going to see the results? And by results, I mean like, boom, the deal's done. And now we are waiting for what's coming to Game Pass. What do we not have to worry about purchasing now from Blizzard's end, like Activision's end? Like, when does that happen?
So I know that their deadline is mid-October. I believe it's October 18th. I've also seen October 8th thrown out there, but I think that may have been a typo. I'm pretty sure it's October 18th. I think we see stuff by the end of this year. I think we see stuff by the holiday season, somewhere around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, right by the end of the year. I think we start seeing. Now the weird thing is in the UK, part of the UK approving it is Microsoft had to give up their rights. It's so complicated. Like their cloud gaming rights, or the cloud rights to Ubisoft. So does that mean? Is that just in the UK? I think it's something that we got to read into more. Is that just in the UK? Is that in its entirety? Is it just the cloud gaming part, but the Game Pass portion of it is fine, which means like, cloud gaming, you'd have to stream through Ubisoft if you wanted to play Call of Duty, but Game Pass, you can just download Call of Duty.
Yeah.
For some reason, UK made shit so much more complicated than it need to be, but you know what? Microsoft offered it to them. They accepted, so we're here now. So I think in the next month, we should officially see Call of Duty under Team Green umbrella.
This is why I'm waiting for this damn deal. I'm just so done buying Call of Duty. I do not want to give them a single dollar, but my friends make me do it every year. Like, I just don't want to buy Call of Duty. That's why I'm asking. Get that off my...
You blame your friends? That's messed up.
Yeah, man. It's my friend's fault. Call of Duty's butt cheeks. Anyways. Oh, man. We missed this, Kevin. It was good to do this, man. It was good to do this.
It was.
I don't know about you, but we got to get back in the groove. I made a promise to Kevin. I made a promise to myself, people. We will be back at your service once a week on the tube.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this video. If you have any opinions, if you know anything that we missed, whatever it is, man, drop a comment. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you didn't like. And don't forget, people, this is GAMERViCE, giving you all the vice you need. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.